In the year 1258, a dense, unnatural smoke rose above the city of Baghdad and blackened the midday sky. The Tigris River below turned dark from the ink of thousands of manuscripts, works on medicine, astronomy, and philosophy, thrown into the water as the city's libraries were emptied. Before this destruction, Baghdad had functioned as the primary center of global scholarship. For 5 centuries, it was the destination for anyone seeking the limits of human understanding. The siege resulted in a massive loss of life, but it also ended the city's role as a global scientific power. In a matter of days, a tradition of inquiry that had defined the region for 500 years was silenced. Medieval history is often taught through the lens of Europe, an era of stone castles, knights, and a long period of intellectual stagnation. But by the 8th century, the Abbasid Caliphate had established an empire spanning from Spain to India. Its capital, Baghdad, was the most advanced urban center on the planet. At the heart of this city was the House of Wisdom, or Beit al-Hikmah. It was a massive translation hub and a scientific academy that operated on a scale previously unknown to the ancient world. Scholars here did not simply collect ancient texts. They verified the data, expanded the mathematical proofs, and developed new technologies that would eventually reach every corner of the globe. Baghdad functioned as a global research capital. Supported by state funding, it brought together Christian, Jewish, and Muslim scholars to work on shared scientific problems. During this period, al-Khwarizmi developed the foundational rules of algebra. The modern term algorithm is a direct linguistic descendant of his name. Astronomers in the city used complex instruments like this golden astrolabe to map the movement of the stars, achieving a level of mathematical precision that allowed them to predict celestial events with high accuracy. In the field of medicine, Ibn Sina's Canon of Medicine organized centuries of clinical knowledge into a single encyclopedia. It became the standard medical text in European universities for the next 500 years. The era also saw the creation of automated mechanical machines and the rapid spread of paper mills, which made the mass production of books possible for the first time in the region. This explosion of literacy changed the dynamics of the medieval world. In Baghdad, the ability to record and distribute information became the most effective tool of state power. This leap in scientific progress raises a specific question. Why did this intellectual culture take such deep root in the Muslim world? The catalyst was partly theological. The Quran frequently directs its followers to study the natural world, and the very first word of its revelation was Iqra, the command to read. Daily religious requirements drove technical innovation. Precise astronomy was needed to set prayer times, while complex inheritance laws required the development of new mathematical systems. For these scholars, the study of the universe was a religious obligation. By treating scientific inquiry as a way to understand the work of a creator, they removed the friction between faith and discovery. The House of Wisdom was a repository for the world's collective knowledge, holding manuscripts from Greece, Persia, India, and China in a single location. It was a collaborative environment where cross-cultural debates led to the creation of entirely new disciplines in trigonometry, optics, and chemistry. This work also preserved the foundations of Western philosophy. Many of Aristotle's writings only survived because they were translated and protected by Muslim scholars while Europe was in a period of decline. The defining trait of this era was a profound openness to foreign ideas. This connectivity didn't just advance the Islamic world, it helped preserve the intellectual heritage of humanity. In 1258, that era of growth was met by the Mongol armies of Hulagu Khan. The city's defenses were overwhelmed, and its institutions were systematically destroyed. The contents of the great libraries were hauled out and emptied into the river. Witnesses claimed the Tigris ran black with the ink of the books and red with the blood of the city's inhabitants. The psychological impact was permanent. A civilization that had built its identity on the accumulation of knowledge suddenly saw its entire intellectual history erased in a matter of days. When we look at modern Baghdad, the historical reality is often obscured by modern headlines of conflict and political instability. Yet the legacy of the city's golden age is visible in every modern calculation. The foundations of algebra and the early principles of systematic medicine remain rooted in the work done here 1,000 years ago. This history serves as a reminder that the centers of global progress change over time. No society holds a permanent monopoly on advancement. It challenges the modern Muslim world to remember that their culture was once defined by its leadership in the sciences and its role as a global bridge for ideas. History remembers civilizations by what they contribute to the human story. The fate of Baghdad's libraries forces us to consider what happens to any society when it no longer prioritizes the protection of its knowledge.